ever felt lost? Felt lost. Okay. Maybe in a lesson, right? Or somebody's having a conversation with you, or you're in a place like this, you're like, what's going on, right? Have you ever been lost? Felt lost for a long time. There's another question. You ever been in an airport in a place where you were found? Maybe some of your family members in the corner called out your name and said, we're over here, right? You ever had that pleasant experience? Okay. Have you ever felt found? I don't know. It's hard to speak because it's so personal. But I'll try to keep my composure because you didn't come here to watch a grown man cry. You came here for a message. Have you been found? Have you been found yet? Do you feel like you belong somewhere? See, because I didn't really feel like I belonged. And when I met Haiti, I gave her my story from Valley Public Radio. It wasn't NPR, by the way. And it's called The Drive. And I want to tell you just some highlights of that story. Because my parents got into an argument. I was 19 years old. We were driving to Wairika to stay in a hotel so we could go to Klamath Falls, Oregon. And so there was no vacancy anywhere. And my mom got so upset. We waited in a diner to regroup and for my dad to call. Well, right around 4 in the morning, she leaves in the car with my brother, leaves my father and I behind. So we're like wondering, we're walking, we're waiting. And we end up walking like for 4 hours to this bus station. Well, actually to a movie theater where we watched Do the Right Thing for like 3 showings in a row. And while he slept. Caught the bus back, and I realized at that point that my mother, who had sat me at her lap, read the Bible to me, taken me to church, was now a strange villain in a way. But then we became worried for her that she might take her own life. And this continued for years. And so I really felt like this, kind of empty, emotionally. I felt lost. Until I met my wife, and I didn't meet my kids. We had kids. But in many ways, she saved my life, and I felt like I was found. But you know, fast forward, I wanted to go to school. We bought a house in our 20s, and I was working full time. And emotionally, I wasn't there for them. And so what I found was, even though she had in many ways saved my life, I kind of turned my back on them without realizing it. And so I realized the limits of having this cup sort of full, because it leaks. Fast forward to the breakup of our marriage in 2013, I moved to Kentucky, and there, 2 weeks after moving there and working in a factory, because I was in between teaching jobs, I cried out to God from the depths. There's this big life-size cross that I was walking by. And I don't share this very often, the exact words, but the exact words were, how can I love you when I'm dead? And for the first time I felt pure unconditional love pouring into me. My life changed. But you know what I found? That as full as this glass is, water can grow stale. And so I struggled still. And I still looked for answers. And even when I truly understood the good news, which is the good news, it's not discipleship, it's not prayer, it's not even faith. The good news is Jesus Christ. Even when I found that out, I found myself And so fast forward, I have these cards, but I'm really ignoring them because this story is exciting. I learned to pour into others. And I learned that when you pour into others, that same thing that you're looking for is going to be there for you. And so my challenge to each of us is to close your eyes when you lose perspective, because I really wanted to define for you what gratitude is. And gratitude is when it's like, I'll describe it like this. You've ever been thirsty? You ever felt lost? You ever been in a desert? And you drank water? You will never forget that experience. But you have to remember that there are others out there who need that. I needed that. And so it's like, if you can imagine water pouring into this glass and spilling over to the next glass. And so, coming full circle, my mother, who's a vibrant Spanish Italian nurse, former nurse, and now living in a home because she's got dementia. It's like, now I'm reading the Bible to her, now I'm praying with her, now I'm talking with her. And it's like, when I do that, I feel that the love that God has given to me is actually, I'm finding a purpose for that. So my challenge to you in my closing message here is embrace the loss moments, because you will understand and appreciate that when you're found. And here's the other challenge. What you're looking for, the love you're looking for, the fulfillment, might be sitting right in front of you. It was sitting in front of me the whole time. And my mom is that person who's in front of me now. So embrace the loss, remember that you're found, but don't let it stop there. Just like you needed that glass of water, there's somebody out there who needs a glass of water. And I'm very thankful to share the stage here with all of you. Philip, I offer that, and you've fed me